What about the paintings? Oh my god. What about the library? I know very little about this piece. It simply arrived on the doorstep of my galleria one day, swathed in black clothes and labeled "From the Citadel." One knowledgeable patron hypothesized that it might be some great sorcerer's fortress suspended within a demi-plane of their own creation. Maybe you can access it from the painting. Karasutran shoreline. Karasutra is a layer of the Beastlands which is perpetually surrounded in night, filled with all manner of animals that stalk their prey in the darkness. A painter who had fallen in love with a cat lord and followed her to her homeland gave the paintings to me. Never did he reveal to me the secrets of their construction. Outland Raiders, an interesting piece, yes. The painter managed the most interesting effect with the forms in the cliff's shadows. The woman who brought me this piece told me she found it in an abandoned camp on the Outlands. The original painter was never found. Presumably, they were slain by the same raiders whose image they captured in the painting. Has a thought at the consumption of Ngar. This painting is a copy from the wall of one of the gatehouses, Siege's largest asylum. Cell walls. Wow. All the occupant could speak was Azazot has consumed Ngar. Azazot has consumed Ngar. A bit frightening, I think, but a fine painting nonetheless. Intriguing. It's Lovecraftian. A little bit. Surface of Thalasia. Thalasia is the sea in which the river Oceanus, which winds through most all of the plain of Elysium, begins and ends. The piece was painted by one of the many islands' inhabitants. Oh, the Folly of Udo. This painting illustrates one of the legends of the primal world Goha. Udo was a wizard king of such skill and power that he set to casting a spell that would turn himself into a power, and the people of his great nation into divine servants. With the spell's completion, lightning crashed down around Udo's palace, setting it ablaze, and before the thunder had died away, the city was empty, not a living thing to be found. Over 70,000 people vanished without a trace. In a heartbeat, no one knows the fate of Udo or his people. God, very intriguing. Some Roanoke there. Veil beneath Clangedin. Bulbog Stonenose sold this painting to me. It is of a field beneath Mount Clangedin, the home of the dwarf Enheriar, spirits of the upper plains, who serve as guardians or warriors in the plain of Arcadia. Grey Hag of Oinos. This is said to be a portrait of Ravel Puzzlewell, very likely the most evil hag ever to have terrorized the Grey Waste and beyond. Okay, so there she is. What do you know of her? She's a night hag, one of the eldest Grey Sisters of the Wastes, who came to Sigil many centuries ago to pursue arcane experiments. It was believed that these experiments were against the lady's will, and that Ravel was thus banished from Sigil and imprisoned, and so on. It's always the same thing. Same dialogue we had before. The motion study. A young man whose name I do not know sold me this piece. It was one of several he had, but the others already had owners, or so he said. I would so like to possess the entire collection, but alas, it oft seems some things are not meant to be. Well, thank you. Animated chain, an animated bloody iron chain, coiling and uncoiling upon itself. The chain itself seems to bend and weave like the spine of a snake. A small placard reads, "A Chiton's animate chain from Jungling Heater." The chain is slightly warm to the touch, as if it were alive. You notice that various barbs, tiny hooks, needles, and other small sharp bits are welded along the chain's length. Can you talk to me about this chain? Or not, it's the only one you don't... Yeah, she's not talking about... Okay, Chitons. The chain comes from the city of Jungling Heater, the city of chains, that hangs on Minauro's third layer of Bator. The chains there are the finest in the multiverse, but the inhabitants of Jungling Heater are malicious and cruel, using the chains as living weapons against all that enter their city and violate their laws. Chitons move about the city of chains as spiders upon webs, adorned in chains woven tightly around their bodies. Chitons possess a power known as the Gift of Chains, which allows them to manipulate chains with their minds. It is believed that my Galleria's chain was animated during a battle in which the Chiton controlling it was slain with the accursed hammer, its life essence then passing into the chain itself. Interesting. What about you, Sensate? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm here to look at the artwork, not to converse with strangers. Now, if you'll be so kind as to excuse me. I thought she was working here, like aiding with the sensory experience or whatnot. Should I touch these? As you reach out to touch one of the whirling shards, your finger enters the icy wind that rises from the pedestal. Instantly, a coat of numbing frost forms around your finger, causing you to momentarily draw back. Do I really want to do this? You thrust your finger into the frigid, numbing wind. Unbeknownst to you, your forefinger freezes solid. As one of the black shards spins into it, your fingertip breaks off with a sharp crack and goes skittering across the Galleria floor. The icy dark birds remain in their whirling orbit as you wait for your fingertip to grow back. Grow back! Leave. Hope no one saw any of that. It grows back? I grow back pieces? Well, yeah, if I'm healing, yeah, makes sense. Well, not really, still doesn't, because actually being able to, grow your parts again is different than healing over time. But I'm taking it.
Done.
We have another cafe here. Oh, hello. It's so dark. These guys are doing nothing. Wait, the cafe is there, right? Yeah. Lots of people around. So the private houses are tents. Lazy scribe. The man gives a sheepish smile and a half bow at your approach. For a moment, I thought you one of my employer's men when you walked in. Was I ever relieved to see you were not? Why? Why are you here? I could not stand my work at the record Subol 7 for another moment, so I darted off. Had I simply gone home, my employer would have sent a messenger. That tyrant. That is why I am hiding here, of course. I intend to lounge about for a bit longer before returning to my cramped little desk. So this is not his house, right?
All right.
Arwen! This tall, slender woman occasionally looks up from her cup of wine to scan the surrounding patrons and passers-by. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and her eyes, a brilliant gold in color, catch the light sparkling as she looks about. Greetings. She regards you carefully for a moment before replying. She speaks slowly and carefully, avoiding direct eye contact with you. I, Elwyn, return your greetings. The woman shakes her head, her crimson locks catching the light and sparkling like a winding flame. I, Elwyn, have no answers, strangers. You would do best to seek answers elsewhere. Look, your friend Nemel is looking for you.
Updated my journal.
She begins to smile, but then covers her mouth with her hand and looks down at her drink. I, Elwyn, am most pleased to hear of Nemel. Might I, Elwyn, persuade you to tell her of this place? But why are you not... I thought maybe since there were two bars, one of them two got confused. But... why should I go tell her? Can you give me something? I, Elwyn, understands. Are you a sensate? No, I'm not. Do I, Elwyn, not look familiar to you? No. Should you? It is as I, Elwyn, thought. A man's mind has been lost to him. Do you know who I am? I, Elwyn, have met you before and would speak of that meeting were you to aid me. Okay, I'll do it then.
Updated my journal.
I hope she's not going to make up lies. She looks at you directly, and for just the briefest of moments before she casts her eyes back down to her drink, your senses are awash with a warm, comfortable feeling, pure happiness. I, Elwyn, thank you. It's my pleasure. May I ask you about her, though? Elwyn nods slowly. The way she speaks and what her words do, how? I, Elwyn, can only say that we come from another place, another world. We're not like the people here whose words, thoughts, very feelings even affect nothing directly. I, Elwyn, take great care so as to not affect those around me too greatly. Nemel, she is new here and cannot do so. It is something she must learn, should she choose to remain here much longer. But why? There are many reasons. I, Elwyn, feel it is not right to impose reality upon those without the ability to impose their own reality upon me. Elwyn. Is there anything you can do by simply speaking of it? She frowns. A strange, unpleasant feeling rises in the pit of your stomach. Please. I, Elwyn, would not speak of it no more. Would speak of it no more. She looks at you directly, your face reflected in the glittering golden discs of her eyes. He would speak of it no more to Elwyn, and thus would no longer force her to speak in such a way to him. You find yourself unable to voice another question. Your words catch in your throat as you try to ask. Ooh, these people are dangerous. Very dangerous. The woman smiles as she greets you, her beauty no less breathtaking than the first time you saw her. Nemel, held her breath as the stranger approached her. Had he found Elwyn? She wondered. I found Elwyn. She was looking for you too.
Updated my journal.
Nemel's lips form a perfect smile. An infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like sweet-smelling warmth. Nemel was overjoyed to hear of her friend. Was Elwyn close by? She's at another cafe east of here, across this part of the world. Nemel thanked the man for his wondrous news. Soon she would go to visit her oldest friend, Elwyn. Now, though, she would reward the stranger. What would you want to give me? She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest and kissing the pale leathery skin of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. Oh, thank you. As you wait, there is a light tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger, more animated. Well, thank you. She's going then? Let's finish this. Elwyn clasps her hands together and bows her head to you in thanks. Tears of joy falling down from her golden eyes, just as your own eyes begin to water. She wipes away her tears and smiles, causing a wave of intense pleasure to wash over your entire body. Elwyn thanked the stranger. She had been reunited with her dearest friend, Nemel. Okay, now tell me of your previous meeting.
Updated my journal.
The name I, Elwyn, choose for you, stranger, is not so fitting. You and I, Elwyn, have met before, in the fest hall, in a place you could not have been were you not a sensate yourself. Whether you recall or no, unless you betrayed the society of sensation at some point, you are a sensate. Okay. I might not be now. I don't know. She nods. You and I, Elwyn, have met on 2 different occasions. The first was no less than 2 centuries past. The last more recently, perhaps no more than 50 years ago. That's still quite a long time. She nods again. My Elwyn's people are extremely long-lived. Forgetful one, she sighs unhappily, causing a chill to descend over you. You seemed a different man then, less grim, less scarred. So eager to see all that the multiverse had to offer. You courted me, Elwyn, then, and was nearly taken as a lover, but then you disappeared. Where did I go? I, Elwyn, was told you had been slain, murdered. She looks up for a moment to peer curiously into your eyes. I met you only once, more after that. Did I remember you then? No, she shakes her head sadly, then touches her throat. No, you did not. You lashed out at me, Elwyn, made to slay me, screamed how I, Elwyn, could not fool you, would not ensnare and murder you. What happened? We had met in one of the northern towers of the festival on the 7th floor. Before you could choke the life from me, I, Elwyn, used my powers to bade you leap from a window to your death. When I, Elwyn, finally went in search of your broken body, you had already gone. I see. That is the whole of my Elwyn's tale for you. We were not strangers once, but have now become so. Farewell, stranger, and may fortune walk with you in your travels. Okay. Okay. Weirder and weirder. I'm pleased, though.
I'm gone.
Aspiring sensate artist. This attractive pale-faced girl smiles at you, motioning toward a book full of charcoal sketches. Greetings and well met, good sir. My name is Ulana. I am an artist by trade, and would gladly make a fine sketch of you for but 5 copper commons. I can make a serious sketch, if you like, or a caricature. Ah, why not? Okay, thank you, no. She smiles, but somewhat sadly. Farewell, then. Please do not hesitate to return should you change your mind. Maybe you have a quest related to you.
I'm gone.
At some point. What? Oh, she's a fortune teller. Who's here? Nobody? Maybe this is her house. Hey. This old woman examines you closely with her sharp grey eyes. First your face, then your arms and various tattoos. Greetings, scarred one. Come to speak with Elobrand, have you? Come to have your fortune told. Mayhap for a paltry 5 coins? Fine. Elobrand places your coins in her belt pouch and takes your hands. She quietly studies your palms, frowning deeply. At long last she speaks. Some rare folk are what's called fateless, you see. They wander through their lives doing as they see fit, creating their own destinies. You have no fortune to tell, scarred one, none at all. I have nothing to tell you, and so here is your coin. Okay. I do not speak of things mundane, scared one. Hold you one moment, scared one. Elobrand reaches out, touching your arm. My mother gave me something once long ago, a scroll, sealed with wax. A hooded man had entrusted it to her, and said that a man such as you would one day unwittingly come to claim it. Here, I would have you take it now. What is it? Elobrand shakes her head, frowning. I do not know. She was swore never to read the thing, and I obeyed her request to leave the seal unbroken myself. The man had paid her handsomely to take the scroll, but warned her of the direst consequences should she open it. Okay. Suspicious. Sealed scroll. The scroll has been tightly bound with red ribbon and sealed with wax. You can't put your finger on it, but you've got a bad feeling about the thing, as if opening and reading the scroll could be somehow dangerous.
Done.
Oh, hello.
Damn it!
Oh, well then. These are all clerks. That's old poet. Ah, there's Ellie Havelock there. Oh, all these people. Messenger. What about you guys? This young actor seems far too involved with giving his performance to pause and speak with you. You notice that near his feet is a felt cup containing a small sum of copper. Occasionally a passerby will drop a coin or 3 into the cup. Your coin lands in the cup with a soft clink. The actor, without stopping his performance, gives you a quick nod of thanks. So these are not really quarreling, they are... yeah, they are just performers. What's in here? Apothecary. Wow. What? Scattered across the counter are myriad alchemist flasks, jugs, and beakers, most of them currently empty. The slow table is littered with containers holding various powders, liquids, shavings, and the like. They are unlabeled, and you don't recognize any of the substances immediately. Most of the stuff is unlabeled. These cabinet shelves are littered with containers holding various powders and everything else. Yeah. It seems like he's having issues with something. I don't know with what. You see a wall-eyed fellow whose skin seems to writhe and ripple across his entire body. He's smacking his chapped lips with a blotched tongue. As you watch, his right eye moves independently of the left, focusing on you. A second later, the left one flicks to look your way, then reverts to its original position. The right eye blinks. A strange gargling comes from his throat. Greetings. The man gives a lopsided grin and points at himself with his right thumb. Pestle, I'm called, the alchemist. He points at himself again, this time with his left index finger. The name's Kiln. Need you something? Do you have split personality something? You're right. I am. His throat. Yawning again, his throat convulses for a moment, then relaxes. A large green glowing pustule suddenly bursts from the side of his neck. Something you needed then, sir? His throat clenches again, and a wave of quivering flesh swallows the blistering green pustule back beneath the skin of his throat. He coughs violently for a moment, then seems to relax. Phew. What just happened? The left eye rolls upward in exasperation. The right eye looks askance. Too much to drink? Too much of what, though? Potions I drank. Too many potions. His mouth slides down beneath his chin. His left nostril forms another one. The most I ever drank, that's for certain. Of polymorphine they were, and brewed in limbo. Well, that's a good thing you did there, right? Look at Morte talking with the girl there. So, help? The man's eyes turn inwards to look at each other, then back to you. Then no. He shudders. The mouth below his chin moves up to envelope the one his nostril formed. This sort of thing happens quite often. We can't seem to help but sample the stock. If you find a way to help, the two of us would. Oh, it's two of you. Be grateful, sir. Half of his mouth curls downward into a frown. He shakes his head. Work in the stockroom all day, I do. He shudders violently. Suddenly, a third eye pops open over the bridge of his nose. The left one shifts sideways as the new eye takes its place. I speak only of the store, sir. That said, the skin of his face seems to eat the new eye, and the left one returns to its old location. Oh, the old engineer in the foundry tells me I need to get a sample of my blood and skin for his machine to work. I need you to do that for me. A scraping. Very well. His right hand takes up a razor blade, his left a wide-mouthed bottle. He removes a small section of skin from your forearm, placing it into the bottle, along with a small quantity of your blood. He then places some gauze over your wound and hands you the bottle. You need anything more, sir? Purchase something. Alright, it's the usual. Well then.
I'm gone.
Well then. She has things to do. Oh, they're yawning too.
I'm gone.
Oh yeah, well, it's morning. Oh, these two are finally together. Okay then. That was the apothecary. Should I go back to finish this quest directly? What are you talking to, guys? Are you talking about, guys? That's another tongue.
Ah, the sweet smell of sensates and governors.
Are you familiar with the language? You want to have a word with me? The slender young man approaches you wearing a somewhat worried expression. 1,000 pardons, sir, but I am looking for a certain man, and I think you might be able to help me. Oh? How so? I am a messenger, sir, who seeks a man it said cannot die. A scarred man for whom that is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. You match the admittedly vague description I was given, sir, and I had wondered if you were he. Who wants to know? I am in the hire of a wealthy noblewoman, Jolmy Sirma, sir. I don't know. What if I am the man you're looking for? He nods, then bows deeply to your message for you then, sir. Mistress Jolmy of the House Sirma, a lady of high standing, has sent me. Mistress Jolmy would meet you in the civic festival, where she would make a proposal, of which I know nothing, to you. Should you choose to seek her out, she wears green silks, trimmed with gold, and has hair of the color of blue steel. That is the extent of my message, sir. Farewell. Civic festival?
Updated my journal.
In the northeastern corner of this part of the clerk's ward. Sir, it is a large structure and should be easy to spot. Farewell now. Okay. It should be this one, right? What about you, Eli? You're standing there in the corner, loitering. This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he manages to look unsavory and more than a little dangerous. The man looks your way. His eyes are dark slits, like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff, despite his slender build. Pike off. You think I wander the world looking for strangers to spill dark for? Now pike off. Well, why are you here then, to be surly with passers-by? Huh. He stands quietly for a moment, then breaks a crooked smile. That's good, that. Considers you for a moment. I'm a tutor at the Civic Festival. Name's Havelock. Eli Havelock. As a veteran scout, I teach the art of subterfuge. Mean thievery? His lip curls up in a disgusted sneer. Thieves and thievery. It always is. 5 tours I spent as a reconnaissance operative in the War of Lies. Scout is my title. Scout. I teach the ways of stealth and spycraft, not common thievery. Okay, so he's a trainer, I suppose. Oh, sorry, what about the old poet? This kindly-looking old man spares you only the briefest of glances before returning to his recitation. Heckle the poet? You heckle and jeer at the poet, making fun of his style of verse, appearance, and postulated home life. You top it off by interrupting a few of his verses and completing them with bawdy rhymes of your own, which draws some chuckles from onlookers and sets the old poet, doing his best to ignore you, to gritting his teeth. Why did I do that?
Done.
Wait, maybe this is the fast hall.